What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Concert Diaries. This time I'm going to be talking about the Panic at the Disco and Weezer tour. I actually went to 2 dates for this tour. The first time was June 20th on my birthday in Charlotte, North Carolina with John from ARTV. And that time I was actually in a pavilion seat, sort of far back, but you know, I could see decently. But it was seriously so good, so much fun. My only complaint is that there were thousands of people still waiting in line by the time the first band was already done playing. Sadly, a lot of people missed their first set, Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness. They like played before like anyone was even in the venue. Like literally me and John filmed a little snippet of the, you know, the crowd. Like it was just a huge line like looping around like 8 times.
You can hear the music in the background probably, and you can see that I'm not in a concert venue. Would you like to know why I'm not in a concert venue?
But thankfully we did get in time, and we just enjoyed the show, and I'm so proud of myself because I did not film one single clip on my phone or anything, no Snapchats. Like I was literally just watching the show and just taking it all in. And I actually lost my voice after that because I was literally screaming and singing so loud. But today I'm going to mainly talk about the show in Pittsburgh that I went to this past Sunday. It was at Stage AE, and this is a venue that I absolutely love because all of the venues on this tour were like huge amphitheaters with lawns and pavilion seats. This one is completely general admission, and it was amazing because I could go wherever the hell I wanted to, and there was less people than, you know, these bigger shows, and that's why I love that venue. And you guys may have seen my Instagram photo. I actually met Panic at the Disco. After 8 years of being a fan of this band, I finally got to thank them for everything and just tell them how much they meant to me for all those years, and it just felt so amazing. Whenever they announced these meet and greet upgrades, there was no way I was passing it by because they've never done like meet and greets ever for as long as I've been a fan of them, so I just snagged it. I was like, it's worth it for me, so I can just tell them, and it's something I've always wanted to do, so I was very, very excited for that. So let me tell you a little bit about how the meet and greet went down. And I was actually by myself at this show. I didn't have anyone to go with, but I didn't really care because Panic's like my second favorite band of all time, so I was like, whatever, like I'm just gonna enjoy the show. I don't care if I'm alone. And so I was trying to find the meet and greet line, and I had no idea where it was, so I was just kind of waiting on the outskirts of like the main line to just kind of see if like people would be lining up for VIP or anything, or if they would announce something. And eventually a line kind of formed and people were going in, and I assumed that it was the Panic meet and greet, so I just kind of jumped in that line, and it was the Panic meet and greet line, thankfully. And then we formed this big line on the inside of the venue, and as soon as I walked in I could see good old Zach Hall setting up the backdrop for where the picture was going to be taken. But we had to form this really big line, and I was actually like 80th in line or something around there, like in the 80s, and there was like a little bit over 100 people, I think, so I was like kind of towards the end in the middle. I don't know, I just didn't want to appear nervous or like mess anything up because like this is my one chance to, you know, tell them what I want. So I was like rehearsing in my head what I was gonna say to them. And I actually had brought a letter for Brendan because obviously when I'm up there talking, I'm not gonna have enough time to tell him everything I want to say because you only get like 20 seconds or something. So I wrote him like a pretty long letter. So once I got up there, oh my gosh, I freaked out internally. I handed Brendan the letter. He was like, oh, thank you. And can I also note how short Kenny is? He's like me, you know, we're both the short people. And then Dallin is like hugely tall. Like what? Oh my gosh. I had a moment like with Brendan. Like once I got up there, he was to my right. I was in between Dallin and Brendan. And I looked to my right to talk to Brendan, like, because I wanted to say what I wanted to say all these years. I told him, you know, I've been a fan for like 8 years, and it's just unreal to finally be able to thank you in person for everything, and just the music has made me so happy over the years, and you guys are all amazing. And he was like, oh, that's very sweet, you're so sweet. He kept calling me sweet, and I literally like melted inside because he was inches away from me, and I never thought I would ever like experience this, and it just makes me so emotional, to be honest, because I was like looking at him, like in his eyes, we're like making intense eye contact, and he was just like real. I'm like, oh my gosh, like you're right there. And he was just so kind and so smiley and just really, really nice. Then we posed for the picture, and I just like smiled like normal because I was freaking out, but it turned out pretty good. Like, I don't love the way I look in it, but the guys all look amazing, so that's what makes me happy. And it turned out okay. I actually ordered like an 8x10 print of that I'm gonna put up in my room because, oh my lord. So after that, they handed us these posters which are signed. See? So once the meet and greet was over, we went back outside to wait in line again, but luckily we got early entry. So actually as early as like 4 p.m. they started letting us in, but we actually had 2 extra bands that were going to be playing because Pittsburgh, like the radio station 105.9 The X was doing this X Fest thing where they had like some extra bands, and it was like, I don't know, a big thing for like our city. So we had some extra bands, and I guess that's why they let us in earlier. The very first band that came on was Dorothy, and I think they're from California. They're like hard rock, I guess. I don't know. It was very different stuff. The singer was very charismatic. She was pretty funny on stage and just had a lot of energy, which was cool to watch. Now the next band was a huge surprise. It was Swimmers. The drummer of this band is actually Billy Joe Armstrong's son, and they played and they were really good. Like, I felt bad because a lot of the people in the audience weren't really into it because they're here for like Panic mainly. I was enjoying it, and I filmed a couple clips for you guys. Andrew McMahon came on third. He's actually the original opening act for this tour, and I actually saw him live in September with Panic, so it was kind of funny that I saw them both again. But their set was really cool. They didn't play that many songs. I think they played like 6 or 7. He's really, really good live. Like, he sounds amazing live. His voice is just incredible. By the time Panic came on, I was like really close, like closer than I thought I was gonna be able to be. I was so close, like I could make eye contact like with all of them. Like, that's how close I was, and I've never been that close to a Panic at a show before. So it was seriously just like a privilege. So they actually opened up with Don't Threaten Me with a Good Time, which is one of my favorites from the new album Death of a Bachelor, and it was just really fun to jam out to live in the crowd.
You should have seen what I was. I had a date and a party. I was the king of this market. There's no such thing as getting out. Memories and I just popped out. Jump through the back to some rubber cuts. Why doesn't people with designer touch? What they want to get enough of champagne, cocaine, gasoline, and those things in between. Another city in a shopping cart, 11 candles in a smoke alarm. This night is heating up, Chris Ellen turning up, saying anything on me, my blessing in a drink pipe. I can't distract me with a good fight. The time to be sad is over. You miss
complaint I have about their set list is that they played mainly stuff from the new album, which I love these new songs too, but like I just wish they made more room for some of the older stuff. You know, they did the Queen cover again, which they've been doing for like a few years now, so I figured, you know, I could do without that. I'd rather have like an old song from Fever or even Pretty Odd instead of like that Queen cover. And I feel like I could have done without, you know, maybe Crazy Equals Genius, just because, I don't know, they already had so many songs from the new album that I think they could have, you know, left some older ones in there. They only played 2 songs from Fever, which made me really sad, and one of those was obviously I Write Sins, and then Time to Dance, which is my favorite, but they took out But It's Better If You Do, which they've always played, and I just was really looking forward to that, but sadly, you know, they took it off the set list. But of course I'm gonna enjoy whatever they play because I am seeing them live. They're right in front of me, so I'm gonna jam out to any song that they're playing and just have fun. And they actually changed the way they closed the set out. Instead of, you know, ending with I Write Sins, which they've been doing for years, they ended with Victorious, which is a newer, bigger song by them. I don't know if I like I Write Sins ending better or this one, because I guess they kind of want to go out with a bang, but I don't know, I kind of liked how they used to end with I Write Sins, because it's like their biggest hit ever. Let me tell you guys though, something so beautiful happened during this show. Like towards the very end of Panic, so like the last like 3 or 4 songs, the sun was going down like behind the crowd, basically, like in the band's view, and it was just the most beautiful sunset. Like, it was honestly unreal looking behind me. It was so bright and orange, like there was like a glow on the whole crowd and of the band, like, because it was so pretty and so bright. And actually Panic's photographer got a really pretty picture of it. I don't know if any of you guys saw my Snapchat, but I like filmed part of it. I was filming like the front, and then I like turned to behind me, and you could see like how pretty and orange and pink it was. It was just overwhelmingly beautiful. And that like made it all that more special at that show, because I was seeing my favorite band, and it was mainly during This Is Gospel, which is kind of an emotional song, but one of their best, and it was just like amazing to take that moment in. So Panic were absolutely incredible. I was so happy to be that close to them, and let me tell you one thing that happened that pissed me off. Brendan and Dan did like a drum off thing, and once they were done, Brendan threw his drumsticks into the crowd. I kid you not, the girl directly in front of me caught it. I was like so annoyed. I was like, dude, like that could have been mine. But she got it. I was like, whatever. So as soon as Panic were done, I was like dying of thirst, because I'd been standing there since like 4, and it was like after 9 already. And once Weezer came on, you know, I didn't worry about getting into the pit again, because like I already saw them perform in North Carolina, and like, you know, I wasn't like eager to be super close, but I was still pretty close where I ended up standing. I just ended up standing on the right side, but I had a really good view and I was pretty close. I got a few clips for you guys so you can get a taste of what they're like live. And Weezer are so nerdy and very awkward, like it's just hilarious. But they were seriously amazing live. This was the second time around, but they were even better this time. They added Jacked Up to the set list, which actually when I saw them in North Carolina, they had played for the very first time live that night. And then from then on, I think they just kept it in the set list because I guess it went over well. And that's one of my favorite songs from the new album. So I was really pleased that they actually added that. But they played mainly a bunch of their hits, some of their bigger songs, and then of course some of the new ones from the new record. And it was just a really great set list. I think it was like the perfect set list. It was just a lot of fun. This was definitely one of my favorite concerts I've been to, even though I was alone. Like, that just goes to show how great it was. You know, I didn't even need to have like friends with me. I was just like enjoying it because I love the bands that much. So that was my experience at the Weezer and Panic! At the Disco summer tour. I went to 2 dates. They were both amazing. 2 completely different experiences. I finally got to meet Panic! At the Disco. I just will never forget this day. It was one of my favorite experiences ever. And if you guys have already went to this tour, let me know your experience in the comments down below. And if you have yet to go to this, I really hope you have a great time. It's just such a fun tour. If your date still isn't sold out and you don't have tickets, I highly recommend you go check it out. Both of these bands are incredible. Andrew McMahon was amazing too. I hope you guys did enjoy watching this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up to let me know. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you guys next time.